Plants vs Zombies expansion, but better. Hear me out. The other day when I was playing PvZ expansion, which also happens to be one of my favorite mods, I asked myself what if the mod would not just feature more minigames and more adventure levels, but also brand new unlockable plants and some never seen before zombies, and a crap ton of new gimmicks and features in general. So I gathered around a team full of talented artists, animators and programmers, and we set ourselves the ultimate goal of recreating the true PvZ1 sequel. And after me and my team spent countless hours into the creation of this mod, I'm happy to present to you Our journey begins with creating a new account, and you might be asking yourself why I'm doing this right now. Well, the answer is quite simple. Everybody playing Plants vs Zombies expansion hates replaying the entire adventure from scratch, just so they can get to the new stuff. Well, the better expansion mod offers you the choice of straight up skipping to all of the new levels, without having to replaying all of those pesky old adventure levels. In addition, you'll also be awarded $99,990, so you're able to buy all of the new shop items this mod offers to you. This mod also features the infamous speed up button, which doubles the speed of your game upon activation. Pretty neat, huh? I can't wait to make actual speedruns with my best friend the speed up button, so stay tuned for that. And in case you're sick and tired of playing very easy PvZ1 mods, especially since this mod doesn't focus on increasing the difficulty, but rather to expand on the idea of PvZ1, I decided to add a fully toggleable hard mode button, which, as of now, does 3 things to your game. Firstly, it doubles the spawn rate of all of your zombies, meaning zombies will spawn twice as much in every level. And secondly, when activated, it will disable every lawnmower in every level, since that's a very easy way to take away the difficulty from any level. Lastly, I've made a change which only affects Roof Knight, aka Moon, aka World 6, which, when the hard mode option is deactivated, it will be similar to the original PvZ expansion, which always spawns 5 columns of flower pots in each 6x level, in the means to decrease the difficulty. When toggling on the hard mode, the flower pots will spawn exactly how they do on Roof, which is 5 columns in level 6-1, 4 columns in level 6-2, and in every other moon level it will only spawn 3 columns of flower pots at the start of each level. Think you can handle this? Another thing I need to point out is that this mod only focuses on adding new content to the game, meaning, unlike PvZ expansion, the better expansion mod will not touch any of the old plant balancing. Well, almost. You see, the only exception we've made after a community poll was to nerf Doomshroom because of how ridiculously overpowered he is in the base game, and because we didn't want him to straight up just outclass every single new plant we're adding. Everything is the exact same, so we'll also be skipping over level 5-9 quite fast. Okay, I lied. Everything is the exact same in level 5-9, except when I took down my last zombie. I received a letter from the zombies, but it's different this time. Similar to PvZ expansion, the Zomboss fight has been shifted towards level 6-10, but unlike PvZ expansion, we've also added a new letter the zombies wrote as a small quality of life change. And now, the zombies are trying to disguise themselves as Santas, so don't let yourself be fooled by the zombies. Anyway, immediately after receiving the first letter from the zombies, you're greeted with the first new adventure level. Similar to all the previous worlds, it's a conveyor belt level that features most of the new plants you unlock in World 5, with all of the new zombies of that world too. Normally you'd only have access to the plants you unlock in that specific world, but as you might imagine, coffee beans would be completely useless here if we still applied the same rule. In addition, we've also added pumpkin to the conveyor belt, which as of now, while I'm writing the script, has been removed completely from level 5-10, as it does not fit the overall theme. It has been replaced with umbrella leaf. As we arrive at the first wave of this level, we will be greeted with ladder zombies, which in itself isn't really a big threat, since 3 out of 3 attacking plants we offered here are all catapult plants. As for the music choice, we went with the simple yet classic Ultimate Battle soundtrack, which also every X10 level provides to us. I'm also using a small trick here by storing my sleeping ice-shrooms on the roof, which not just increases my chances of getting more ice-shrooms from the conveyor belt, since the game will give you less of a plant if you already have 3 copies stacked in your conveyor belt, but it also gives me some much wanted space I need in the conveyor belt, since storing up a lot of mushrooms with your coffee beans will quickly overflow your conveyor belt. Another trick you should definitely use is to place your melon pulse, if possible, in the second column. But why? Well, it's pretty simple. Having your melon pulse in column 1 will make them an easy target for your catapult zombies. And yes, I know I've said earlier that pumpkin would be replaced with umbrella leaves in this level, but still. The probability of getting an umbrella leaf from a conveyor belt is 5 times less likely as getting a pumpkin here, and very often you will be unlucky and won't get any of them. As for column 3 and above, your melon pulse will be quite vulnerable if thrown by the Gigantuas, of course. Roof levels for some reason have a really weird imp throw mechanic, where imps can land anywhere from column 2 to column 6 compared to any other stage, where the imps can only land on columns 2 to 4. And especially now, where you don't have access to pumpkins anymore, the imps will be that much more of a problem. You will also encounter your first Gargantuas in flag 1, so you better have prepared yourself a lot of ice-shrooms and kernel pulse for them. And after defeating the final Gargantua from the level, something really exciting happened: Pepperpult. Originally a plant from Plants vs Zombies 2 has made a return in our mod, and if for some reason you don't know what Pepperpult does, don't worry, you're gonna find out in just a few seconds. After being greeted with Crazy Dave's new dialogue, we see him mention something about the moon shining, and remember this because it will become pretty important later on. In the Sea Chooser screen, you can also see the first new zombie that has been added. And you can also take a look at the new almanac. We've had to change the almanac because of the new zombies we've introduced, and because we needed to create a new page for the new upcoming zombies we did plan for the future updates of this mod. For the exact same reason, we also had to add in a second page of new plants to choose from, and this is where you also get access to your Pepperpult. The navigation is pretty self-explanatory by just navigating your pages with the bottom arrow buttons. With that being said, we enter the first new moon level, and you're probably asking yourself why I call this world Moon as opposed to Night Roof. Well, if you think about it, each night stage in this game has a special name attached to its gimmick, and it's the same reason why we don't call Fog Night Pool. PvZ expansion unfortunately didn't add any new features to World 6. So it was essentially just playing Roof, but in night. Well, yeah, no shit. Anyway, Night Roof actually has been called Moon for the longest time in the Chinese PvZ community. And I know this because I played Survival Endless competitively, and every Endless stage on Bilibili, which is the Chinese YouTube equivalency, would have a dedicated shortcut to describe which stage a setup was used in. So for example, Day Endless was called DE, while Night, Pool, Fog and Roof Endless would simply be called NE, PE, FE and RE respectively. All Night Roof Endless setups would simply be called ME, which stands for Moon Endless. Originally we wanted to introduce a snowy roof gimmick to this world, especially with all of the new fire plants we've added, but we all decided against it in a community post, and we decided to call it Moon instead and give it a special gimmick that's also related to the moon in respect of the Chinese PvZ community, which contributed the most into the modding of this game. The moon gimmick we decided for was the Blood Moon, which is also inspired by Terraria. The Blood Moon is a new event that appears randomly in each 100 and 150 seconds intervals, and it causes every single zombie to be buffed for the whole duration of the Blood Moon. The new debuff is essentially where freezing a zombie is, but in reverse. The zombies will turn red instead of blue, and their movement speed and also their eating speed will double, which makes them a threat you should really not underestimate. By the way, thank you to Mr. Kazi, who provided us with this sick new soundtrack we added. Here is a small sample of the new soundtrack, which goes by the name of Grass the Moon. Part of the other new change, I'd like to introduce to you Icebox Zombie. This zombie had its first appearance in Plants vs Zombies Adventures, a Facebook game which I used to play a lot back in my childhood. He was essentially just a tanky zombie with the traits of being weak to fire Peashooters, or Flaming Pea, which was the original name of fire Peashooters in Plants vs Zombies Adventures. But because that would be a boring mechanic, and because I got fire under my ass by my community, I gave him the additional ability to freeze all surrounding plants by a 3x3 area unless they are fire plants, and unless he hasn't lost his ice armor yet. You might also know the zombie from the expanded and enhanced mod, which I also happened to stream on my channel back in 2022. Thank you to Raducu, the creator of Plants vs Zombies Expanded and Enhanced, for providing us the Iceberg zombie sprites, and for the small collaboration of our mods. So, in summary, he's twice as strong as a buckethead zombie, he freezes all of your nearby plants that aren't under the category of being a fire plant when still having his armor on, but he also takes 100% more damage when attacked by a fire plant, which makes the use of Pepperpult especially interesting against this zombie. Speaking of which, Pepperpult was originally a fire Peashooter in this mod, but we had to change it last minute to a plant that would actually make sense in a world where a roof slope exists. So we had to add in Pepperpult in this mod, which is a weird hybrid mix between Melonpult and Cabbagepult. They cost you 200 sun, and they also deal 50% more damage than your traditional Cabbagepult, but also having the same splash ability of Melonpult, but with the drawback of unfreezing your zombies, so you're not able to combine them with your icy plants. Thank you to RealMadManMatthew for the design of Pepperpult, and yes, this is his actual name, I'm not making this up. Also thank you to Milkchocolatecookie for the earlier design we had of Pepperpult. Because Jalapeno's damage is categorized as being a burn damage, which you can easily test by unfreezing a Gargantua with a Jalapeno in the base game, it's basically one of the few plants in the game that kills the Iceberg zombie in just one explosive, since all of the other instant plants don't deal enough damage to solo the zombie. I also forgot to mention that similar to Zamboni, this new zombie will be immune to being frozen, as long as he has his Iceberg armor on. Another bonus ability I gave him was to freeze nearby surrounding zombies in a 3x3 area when hypnotized by a Hypnoshroom. And because of how unique this zombie is, you'll be rewarded by using plants like Jalapeno, Hypnoshroom and Chomper, which you normally wouldn't use otherwise, since they pretty much get outshadowed by every other plant in the game. Level 6-2 doesn't feature any new zombies, but it features 2 flags and a new plant now. Let me introduce to you the Water Pot. You guys most likely know this plant from the Zen Garden, and compared to its counterpart, the Flower Pot, this plant will only allow amphibious plants to be planted on him, which allows us to use plants like Cattail in every single stage now. Or if you're like me, you're gonna use the almighty SeaFruit water pot strategy. I'll also have to fix his projectiles, since apparently he doesn't really work on roof, and his shots just hit the ground for some reason. Also, I'm appealing to everyone to make this an actual meme. Please do it. Anyway, another very strong combo I need to emphasize is using Tangle Kelp in combination with Water Pot. He not only serves the role of a better potato mine, but I also programmed him the ability to damage Gargantuas, which hit will actually cause him to take a solid 1800 damage, which is the same amount of damage which each other explosive deals in the game. And because this is a 2 flag level now, the Blood Moon Surges will appear twice as much, which makes your cattails a lot more vulnerable, since you have to place them in the front so your shots go through the roof slope. After flag 1 you will also encounter screen door shield zombies with iceberg zombies, which will be an excellent target for your Pepperpult, so be sure to make use of them. Now, level 6-3 is special because we're introduced to a new special mod exclusive zombie. May I introduce to you the Scarecrow zombie? Okay, he's not actually new. More so a reskinned pigeon zombie from Plants vs Zombies 3, but instead of using pigeons, we're using the Raven from the many console versions of Plants vs Zombies, including the Nintendo DS version, which I personally used to play a lot as a kid back then. The Scarecrow zombie itself has 1000 health points, and he'll spawn 4 surrounding Raven zombies around him every 50 to 75 seconds. I also must mention that by the time I'm writing the script, his head texture has been changed from this to this. Shoutouts to RealMadManMatthew again for drawing us the new Scarecrow zombie sprites from scratch, and also huge thanks to ZooWeeMinecraft for basically making all of the animations of this mod. The Raven zombie themselves are classified as flying zombies as long as they're not eating a plant, which causes them to temporarily leave their flight, meaning they will have the exact same weaknesses as balloon zombies, which is also introduced in this level. Cactus, Cattail, Blower, as well as the brand new Hurrikale, which also will be able to offscreen those pesky Raven zombies. zombies. Speaking of which, Hurrikale is another Plants vs Zombies 2 plant that made a return into our mod. Similar to Plants vs Zombies 2, he will also freeze and simultaneously push every single zombie away in one lane, while removing your fog and also eliminating all flying zombies in that lane. He costs 100 sun and his recharge is identical to Walnuts or Potato Mine's recharge. The textures for the Plants vs Zombies 1 style Hurrikale has been made by Snow Clover here. Now that you have unlocked Waterport, which by the way also has a small face in this mod, you can make good use out of your cattails against the flying zombies. Level 6-4 features Pogo Zombies, Jack-in-the-Box Explosion Zombies, Bungee Zombies, Scarecrow Zombies, Ladder Zombies and lastly, Football Zombies. And may I add to you how ridiculously overpowered and broken ladder zombies and football zombies are, especially during a Blood Moon surge? Seriously, they move at a supersonic speed at you now. Even the ravens fly a whole lot more faster during the Blood Moon surge, but luckily we've also unlocked Lightning Reed for that problem. Originally a plant from Plants vs Zombies 2. Okay, I get it, you already know what Lightning Reed does. Jesus. Similar to Plants vs Zombies 3, he's also able to now hit the pigeons aka raven zombies, but he's also able to hit balloon zombies or in general just all flying zombies, which makes him a really great choice here. His strength however lies within those pesky flying zombies and also damaging zombies like newspaper zombies, ladder zombies and screener shield zombies through their shields. He also doesn't care for the roof slope in here, making him an excellent long range plant choice in this world. As for the level itself, I went ahead and bought my 2 new upgradable plants in the store that you unlock after passing through level 510, which are Icy Fire-shrooms and Super Chomper. Both plants that are featured in the Chinese Social Edition game of Plants vs Zombies. Icy Fire-shroom especially really caught my eye here since it's the first upgradable plant which shares the same base plant as another upgradable plant in the game, aka Gloomshroom. This makes for interesting decision makings now. You can either go the old traditional Gloomshroom route, go with the new Icy Fire-shroom route, or you choose both as they complement perfectly with each other. Otherwise, there isn't really too much to say here about Icy Fire-shroom, considering that he's just a 200 cost Fire-shroom upgrade now that also chills the zombies upon his attack. But because of his design, he will add a lot of complexity towards your defense, so don't miss out on him. We will also talk about Super Chomper in just a moment, but for now, it's time to collect our second taco. In level 6-5, we're introduced to a new minigame called Big Trouble Big Zombies, which is a funny little twist of the Big Trouble Little Zombies minigame you can also see in level 3-5. Instead of reducing the health of every zombie to a quarter, they will instead grow by 4 times in health, but to not make things impossible, this minigame will only feature a spawn rate multiplier of 1. And you will also be provided with 2 brand new explosive plants. One of them is Chili Pepper, which was also first introduced in Plants vs Zombies Adventures. In this mod, he's an unused plant, meaning he's not unlockable outside of the minigames, because we are running out of adventure levels to unlock the new plants. Don't worry though, he will make a return onto our next adventure update, which hopefully will be World 7 to you. But for now, you can only enjoy him in this minigame. He has the same sunk cost as our traditional jalapeno, but he'll only deal half as much damage, meaning even a bucketed zombie will survive the impact of this plant. But for an exchange, this plant will ice trap all of the zombies affected, making him essentially a mix between Ice-shroom and jalapeno, which was also historically true in PvZ Adventures. By the time I'm writing the scripts, Chili Pepper has also received some new textures you can see here by Snow Clover. Also, thank you to ZooWeeMinecraft for creating this amazing challenge animation. As for the second new plant, I'd like to introduce you to Pickled Pepper. He's another plant from the Social Edition of Plants vs Zombies. He costs 200 sun and compared to Jalapeno, he will not burn an entire lane, but rather an entire column instead, which makes him a very effective wave clearer and a very good combo with Walnuts. In this minigame, he's especially good because he will deal double the damage against those ice block zombies, which can sometimes really make a difference here, since his health is increased by 4 times. Similar to Jalapeno, he is also classified under a fiery explosive plant, but this also means that he will thaw every frozen zombie on impact. This creates this very interesting dynamic between Chili Pepper and your 2 other chilies at the same time. Considering Pepperpult is also part of the conveyable plants in this level, it would be wise to only have 2 or 3 lanes dedicated to them. This way you can maximize your Chili Pepper value by those lightning reed lanes, without defreezing all of your zombies with your Pepperpults. Level 6-6 introduces to us another new zombie. Okay, granted, he isn't that new, but we had to add him in since Giga Football Zombie has been a part of the PvZ community for the longest time, and in case you lived under a rock and you don't know what Giga Football Zombie does, he first appeared in a web demo version of the original Plants vs Zombies, and later made a return in the social edition too. He has double the health of a regular football zombie, meaning he's one of the only zombies that survives being hit by an explosive plant. He also can't be instantly killed by Hurrikale, which will only deal an explosive amount of damage to him. And Chomper also won't be able to swallow this monstrosity. Now, let's talk about his weaknesses then. Obviously, using 2 of any instant plants will do the trick. But Magnet-shroom, an otherwise underused plant, will also be phenomenal here. There's also another new plant the zombie is weak to. Introducing to you, Super Chomper. Yet another plant that has been first introduced in the social edition of this game. Super Chomper is very unique in the sense that it's able to swallow all the zombies in front of him, regardless of the quantity. Compared to Chomper, he's also able to swallow Giga Football Zombies. You're able to plant Super Chompers by replacing them with your Chompers on the field. Combine them with your wall plants for maximum value, and speaking of your wall plants, I'd like to present to you Fire-shroom, which, if you've guessed it, it's another plant from this PvZ Social Edition version, and it's very unique to say the least. Fire-shroom is classified under a wall plant and a mushroom plant at the same time, meaning on day you will also need a coffee bean to wake him up. When woken up though, he will damage the zombies that are eating him. Keep in mind that he's a fire plant too, meaning he will unfreeze your zombies upon contact, so it's best if you don't combine him with plants like ice rooms or even snow peas when you can. However, because he's a fire plant, he will not only deal double the damage to icebox zombies when he has his armor on, he himself is also immune to being frozen, meaning he'll be an excellent choice for you to place in the front. Not that that matters, of course. Yet another new store plant we're using in this level is Ice Queen Peashooter. This plant made its first appearance in, you've guessed it, Plants vs Zombies Adventures, and in this mod she's able to fire solid frozen ice peas instead of your regular snow peas at the zombies. This new projectile will not only freeze the zombies when hit, but it also puts them in a temporary ice trap similar to Ice-shroom to maximize your stalling potential. Of course, icebox zombies will be fully immune to your Ice Queen piece, but it excels at dealing damage with the zombies like Giga Gigantua, Giga Football Zombie or Gigantua, or any other tanky zombie. It also has a funny interaction with Torchwood. When passing through a Torchwood, the ice pea will turn into a snow pea. A funny continuation of the snow pea turning into a regular pea when touching a Torchwood. And thank you again to ZooWeeMinecraft for the animation of this new plant. Level 6-7 is a very cool one. We have the Fender Football Zombies, Giga Football Zombies, Zambonis and Gargantuas. Luckily for us, we've unlocked a new powerful plant now, the StarFruit. Based off of the Angel StarFruit from the Chinese PvZ2 version, this plant has the ability to rotate by 45 degrees whenever needed, making it able to shoot 5 stars in 10 different directions instead of just 5. StarFruit offers a very interesting and unique design choice. She's also classified as an amphibious plant. The reason this is so interesting is because this allows you to make yet another use out of water pot, causing you to make a strategic decision. I also reduced their cost down to 175 sun compared to the 250 sun you see here in the video. But regardless of the cost, this will be a very impactful plant in most levels considering how strong default Starfruit is on its own. I decided to pair StarFruit up with Icy Fire-shroom considering how strong it is into both football zombies and gargantuas. Zambonis are a direct counter to Icy Fire-shroom, but at the same time they're also weak to StarFruit. Also, the real fun only started to begin after the second flame came around. The game is now spamming all of the powerful zombies at you. In the version I was playing, Hurrikale was still able to instantly kill a Giga Football Zombie, but considering that Giga Football Zombie has the same spawn weight as a Gargantua, it just wouldn't make any sense to me that he would die to just a 25 cost plant. Moving on to level 6-8, we can see our very first Gladiantua. I took inspiration from Gladiantua from this YouTube video from LuckLukeHunter99, and as far as I'm understanding this, the Gladiantua armor has been actually an unused sprite from the pre-version of Plants vs Zombies, which used to be called Bloom and Doom back in the day. Gladiantua belongs to the subclass of Gargantuas, and unlike Gargantua, he's a whole lot bigger and a lot more dangerous. First of all, we had to reduce the overall power creep we've achieved by adding plants like Icy Fire-shrooms into our mod. So, how do we do that? By making Gladiantua immune to every single status effect in the game. But this now means that Gladiantua is not only immune to being frozen, but he also can be buttered, pushed away via knockback with Hurrikale for example, or frozen solid with ice shrooms, chili peppers or ice cream peas. But because of him being completely unaffected by literally any status effect in the game, he will also not be affected by the new Blood Moon buff as well, meaning his speed will not increase at all. This isn't everything though, you most likely have noticed his armor. This helmet is as of now the strongest armor in the entire mod, being just slightly stronger than the Giga Football Zombie's helmet. But unlike Giga Football Zombie, once the helmet is removed, the base zombie will be a Gargantua instead of a zombie with just 270 health. Since his helmet is considered being metallic, Magnetron will be able to remove it entirely, saving you the need of using 2 explosive plants on him. But to make this zombie even more deadly, I gave him the ability to smash all surrounding plants by a 3x3 area, including spike rocks by the way. And he will also leave a crater behind, which only lasts 66% of the time, as a regular Doomshroom crater would take you to the seas. Oh yeah, and he also crushes your lawnmowers. Yikes. In this recording footage, those are all of his changes, but while I'm writing the script, I've decreased his overall movement speed by 25% to make it a more forgiving experience towards the beginners and to make the hard mode option of this mod not horrendously hard. His voice is also a lot deeper than regular Gigantuas, so be prepared whenever you face this beast. We've decided to strengthen your arsenal of plants with this Pickled Pepper here, which you should already know from the Big Trouble Big Zombie minigame back in level 6-5. Also, notice how his flames are actually colored green instead of the traditional red flames of Jalapeno. We're trying to focus on small details like these to guarantee the best possible player's experience. Level 6-9 was no joke, and really it was the main reason why Gladiantua received his speed nerf of 25%. This level itself features all of the new zombies, including catapult zombies too. As for the new plant, we have Electric Peashooter now, which is a 500 cost high damage AoE attacker, but his cost was reduced to only 400 sun by the time I'm recording this voiceover. Obviously, he's based off of the Electric Peashooter that first made its appearance in Plants vs Zombies 2. And because he would make no sense in a roof world, if he couldn't ignore the roof slope, I granted him the special ability to bypass it, making this plant similar to Lightning Reed. Unlike Lightning Reed though, Electric Peashooter is not able to hit any flying zombies in the air, but we might change it in a later update. Right now, I'm still playing around with the balance of this mod. Otherwise, this plant will be phenomenal in shredding down those ladder, screen door and newspaper zombies as it bypasses their armor completely, which, combined with the high damage he emits, it makes for a very cool new plant in your arsenal. Thank you to Opexe for creating these nice Electric Peashooter textures exclusively for this mod. Our last new plant I'd like to showcase to you is going to be Plasmawood. You might also know this plant from Plants vs Zombies 2, which is just a plant with the form of regular torchwood in the game. He's also based off of the Flamewood from the Social Edition PvZ version. Instead of turning your peas into regular fireballs, it will instead turn them into plasma bolts, which will triple the amount of damage you can cause to zombies. Now, he might receive a cost buff in the near future, as to make him not an applicable plant, but you also might have noticed that we added a lot of new bright plants in this game, namely Lightning Reed, Plasmawood, Electric Peashooter, Fire Peashooter and Plasma Peashooter, which all have the same fog removal ability as Planton and Torchwood, depending on the light intensity they emit. Wait a moment, Plasma Pea? Yes, that's right. He was originally in the game and therefore still in the game files, but because he requires Fire Peashooter to be upgraded on, and because unlocking a straight shooter in a roof slope world would make absolutely no sense, we had to put him on hold for our next 1.1 update, which will add a new 7th world hopefully. For now, both new plants will still remain in the game files, and yes, some of you might probably know Plasma Peashooter from Garden Warfare, which what this plant is based off of. Thank you Claire for making the Plasma Peashooter textures. This Gladiantua here wanted to take a visit to my roof, but I don't think he likes my videos, because he suddenly decided to enter my chimney and do bad things to me. Wait, what? It actually took me 4 whole attempts to beat this level, but don't worry, as I just mentioned from before, his speed is nerfed in the newer versions, so this shouldn't be that big of a struggle to you. The easiest way to take him down obviously is gonna be with Magnet-shrooms and a whole lot of explosive plants, so let's move on to the final level. Zomboss makes a return on level 610. but the fight has experienced some slight tweaks. First of all, Pepperpult, Chili Pepper as well as Pickled Pepper are now available on the conveyor belt. In addition, Chili Pepper and Pickled Pepper can now be used to also stop Zomboss's ice and fireballs, but that's not all. Zomboss has also gathered support in forms of Giga Football zombies in this fight. He will not only make the resource management more so important, but he's also here to give Zomboss a greater chance at fighting you with all of the new plants. And remember that Pepperpult is able to unfreeze your zombies, so sometimes the right choice is just to remove him straight up. Other than that, the boss fight wasn't changed too much, and after defeating Zomboss and therefore collecting the gold sunflower trophy, you will also be able to purchase all of the new plants like Imitator, which now will also feature all of the new plants we've added in this mod. And wait, before you click off, I'd also like to show you the new minigames that are planned for the release of this mod. Well, it's not just cool, new and exciting minigames, but we're also adding entire new vase breaker pages and new survival endless stages for you to try as well. If you'd like to stay updated for the better expansion mod, then make sure to join the Discord link in the description below. A huge special thanks to ZooWeeMinecraft for helping us out a lot with this mod, and also thank you to everyone who's participated in it. I'd also like to thank BinPVZ, Booby, Firefly and Memory for being part of our channel members. Seriously, thank you so much for your support. Thank you to everyone who stayed until the very end, and I will see you in the next video.